Okay, these are decimal practice problems for the final, and I'm multiplying and dividing decimals. So remembering with multiplying, do not line up the decimals to multiply. You can just simply multiply. And with division, you're going to line up the decimals between the dividend and the quotient, and I'll show you what that means. So in this multiplication, we do not have to line up the decimals to multiply, but it just so happens they line up. Alright, so let's just do the multiplication, and then at the end we figure out how many decimal places the answer has. So 4 times 7 is 28. I'm going to put the carrying in a different color. 8 times 4 is 32, 33, 34. So that's 3, 4. We're not doing anything with decimal places yet. And 2 times 7, which is 14. And remember, just like the multiplication before, we start, when we're multiplying this, we start at one space over. So we'll carry the 1. 8 times 2 is 16, plus 1 is 17. And now we add as usual. 8 plus 0 is 0. 8 plus 0 is 8. 4 plus 4 is 8. 7 plus 3 is 10. Carry your 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. Now we decide how many decimal places the answer has by counting how many decimal places there are altogether up here. And there's one with this number and one with that one. So there's 2 total decimal places. So we move the decimal point over 2 places, so that our answer is 20.88. On number 20, I didn't line up the decimals because I don't have to. And it's always easier to keep track by putting whatever number that's larger on the top. It doesn't matter the order, but I think it's easier on a multiply when the longer number is on the top. Okay, so, and you just multiply. You don't have to do anything fancy. 5 times 4 is 20. And 0, so you carry your 2. 4 times 0 is 0, so that's just a 2. 4 times 0 is 0. You just have to keep track now. 4 times 0 is 0. 4 times 0 is 0. Alright, let's work on the 0. 0 times any number is 0, so I'm going to put a 0 here. That's 1, 2, and then I'm going to do 3, 4, and 5. So I'm going to just put 5 zeros in. And then I have another 0, so I put in 5 more zeros, because any number times itself is 0. And then I'm going to do another 0. We just got tons of zeros, but that's okay. 0 comes all the way down here. And 2 plus 0 is 2. And this comes all the way down. That's a 0. So now we just have a lot of zeros. What we're deciding now is where the decimal goes. Okay. We count our decimal places. This number has 3 decimal places. 1, 2, 3. This number has 4 decimal places. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 plus 3 is, there's 7 decimal places. So, if we can remember, that's a 2 in this mess. We move our decimal over 7 places. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's going to go there. So that our answer is 0. Alright, so then number 21, we're doing division. Division has a little different step. So with division, you're going to line up the decimal between the dividend and the quotient. But the first step is you can't multiply a decimal. You actually have to make them into whole numbers. So whatever number of places you move over to the right here to make this a whole number, you have to move the decimal place that's here the same number of spaces, which is 1. So you have to rewrite the problem as 8 into 7, 2. Decimal place is moving over. That's an arrow that I tried to make. so it becomes 720 because the decimal is here now. Okay, and this is where you line up your decimals between the dividend and the quotient. And it would be smart to add zeros after you've added that decimal place, but do not do that up here. So now we're doing 8 into 72, which goes 9 times. But we have to bring down the 0. That's 0. Okay, 8 into 0 goes 0 times. You just have to do this up until you hit the decimal point. So we don't even need all this stuff over here, it turns out. And you'll be seeing me do more of these kinds of division problems. So the answer is 90. Let's just multiply 0.8 times 90 and see what we get. Let's see, 90 times 0.8. Because what we did was we moved decimals around and we added zeros. So let's just see what happens. 8 times 0 is 0. 9 times 8 is 72. We have one decimal place, so we move our decimal place over 1, and our answer comes up as 72. So I checked my division, and if I did 0.8 times 90, because you go back to the original divisor to check it. Original divisor times the new quotient using 8 as your divisor with 720. So that's, it still comes out correctly. Alright, I was showing you that so that you can see that 90 times 8 is 720. That's true, but 90 times 0.8 is 72. That's how you would check that.